Hello, this is another episode of the Lee-Winans family channel. Welcome to our show today.
Today we're discussing how we manage our finances. And as Dave Ramsey said, don't take financial advice from anyone who is broke. And since we're not rich, we're not saying you should take this as an advice. It's just us sharing our way of handling our finances.
Yeah. So to start it with, we want to discuss whether it's good to have a joint account as a couple or to have individual separate accounts.
So what is our strategy? Are we the joint account or separate account kind of couple?
Okay, well, I think when we started, the joint account thing didn't look too good for us as a couple because we believed that we couldn't put all our eggs in one basket. And so he runs his accounts, I run my accounts. We have access to each other's individual accounts. And so no secrets when it comes to accounts or finances.
Yes, and the only secret is that keep your card close to yourself, because if you expose it, it will be spent, especially when she has my card anyway. But yeah, so our approach basically is this. My money is yours, your money is mine, but we do have a budget.
Yes.
And so at the end of the month, we know how much money needs to come to take care of the home.
Yeah.
And then we make contingencies for other expenses that we have to make in the month. So I think that's basically how we're doing. Like she's saying, where our accounts are open to each other. The only part, I think that I have an allocation for myself, and she has an allocation for herself.
Yeah.
Those ones we don't bother about. At least we know how much is allocated to me, and she knows, I know how much is allocated to her. As to how she spent that particular allocation, which is for her, is none of my business. So I really don't care about it, and she doesn't care about how I spend what is allocated to me. But at least we have a well-structured budget that helps us to track our finances. What would you say it's the differences between you and I in terms of our financial orientation?
Okay, so before I go deep into that, as Nathan said, we have a monthly breakdown of our finances. So we are, as we described ourselves, we are a Christian family. So we always take a percentage for giving. And when I say giving, it could be sharing, giving to the needy, doing projects, helping people with their medical bills, and we don't joke with that percentage. We take that percentage first. Then we take the savings. We don't know what the future holds for us. So we always have something to save. We don't joke with that percentage either. And then we come to the home, what to run the home with. And food, bills, fun, anything in between. So we take that. And then aside that, we take what we have for ourselves. And that comes into our clothes or whatever we want to shop for the month that we need to get. Yeah.
And for many years, and there's a very, I don't know, it's an embarrassing confession that for many years we're not saving.
Yes.
We were giving out our monies, what we could have saved to support people to help. But we later found out through our financial learning that you could actually be more generous when you save more, because it is only when you have that you're able to give,
Yeah.
But when you end up just spending everything you have by giving to people. You know, you're helping at that time, but you also realize that in the near future you'll not be in a position to help a lot more people.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think that's a very important point. And so now our saving culture, aside the fact that it's meant to help us be financially secured in the future, was also inspired by the fact that if you want to help more people, then you need to be able to build up wealth to be able to support people. And it underlines our financial principle, shared with people. You know, the Bible says everything we have came from God, and so we do not boast about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so to the part that I asked, what is your orientation towards finances? Are you a spender or a saver?
I would say
I'll answer for you.
in plain words that I'm a spender. I would like to buy something when I want it. I would not procrastinate when it comes to buying. I believe personally, because of inflation, if I want to get something now, I would get it. I mean, that's if I have the means to get it. I'm not going to kill myself to get it. No, I'm not going to rob to get it. But if I have the means to get it, why not? Why do I have to say, oh no, next month and later, like him? Oh, let's wait. Let's wait for what? We need that thing, and so we are getting it now before before we lose it. So that's my belief. And then of course he's the opposite. So yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And then also for me, I save a lot because I believe in bulk purchase. So
you save to spend.
Of course, buying things in singles will cost more than buying things in a month. I mean, in bulk. So if in a month, every week I have to buy something, I'll prefer, if it's not perishable, if I can keep it, I'll prefer to buy the whole thing in bulk and then save the few coins or the few notes over it. Yeah.
You know, what she just said makes her look so good because truly, that's what happens in our home. So we most often don't lack basic stuff at home because she purchases in bulk. But that's what makes her look bad. Like, oh, let's just save money so we travel. Let's save money so we do that. Let's save money and enjoy this. Let's go and buy this, you know. And I'm like, okay, great, but let's save money so we keep it. You know? So yes, I'm a saver, and it's bad. Literally, I call myself, if you're a marketing person, you know, I'm a laggard. I sort of don't get moved into new things, and I don't get pushed around because there's something new in town. People love it and like to do it. I'm always the last person to go for it. After everybody has finished enjoying it, it's when I go for it. And usually my thinking is around that time, it's more safe and secured, and the quality is still good. So I'll get it at a lower price and still pride myself as having some quality things. But yeah, those are the differences. And I think maybe couples need to have that.
Yeah.
Where one is a spender and the other one is a saver.
Okay.
Because her spending nature brings in fun in our lives. My saving nature makes us a bit boring, but also sort of gives us a sense of security.
Yeah.
Financial security for the future. And so it's good. You need somebody. I hear this that what makes marriage work is you need one crazy person and one boring person. I think I'm the boring one financially here, and she is the crazy one financially. Yeah. So overall, would you think that we're doing well? And when I say well, I mean, are we managing well in your view?
Yeah, I think that before we missed it. And so we are sharing this so that if people are planning to also acquire financial freedom in the future, you start now. We missed it. yeah, we had a percentage to save, but it wasn't as if, yeah, it's a master and it was a little, and then, oh, if we get to save a fine, but we can also help somebody, and but I mean, saving has become a constant now. It's the first. It's one of the first allocations we take out before
Yeah.
before we decide to dig into our finances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as we said, to help, because you don't know when you would be in need one day, and not to help to get anything in return, but to help because yes, you have the capacity to help, and why wouldn't we do that? So yeah, we should help when we have it, and we don't take that lightly.
And this issue, thank you. But this issue about whilst you were talking, I was thinking about financial accountability. People think that joint account is the best way to have financial accountability. And what I found out with people who do joint account is that the only openness they have with each other is the amount of money that is deposited in the joint account. And so you would know how much we have in a joint account, and you wouldn't know anything else about me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know anything else about you. But we took a different route. I keep all the money I earn in my account. She keeps all the money she earns in her account.
Yeah.
But she knows how much I earn, and then the budget of how much of my income is allocated for saving, how much hers is allocated for saving, how much I spend on myself. Not the details of how I use it, but the amount of that. And every other allocation is open. So yeah, and she has the password to my card, my debit card. And do I know yours? I think you've given it to me. I just didn't keep it.
He doesn't keep anything. He doesn't keep any
I don't
number.
keep numbers in my
He
head.
would ask you 101 times anytime he needs something.
Okay, thank you for letting people know how dumb I am. Yes, I don't keep numbers. I only keep very few numbers in my head. So yeah, and that is why I need to keep my card close to me, because if she gets it, you can be sure what would happen to my card. But yeah,
Really?
so back to the issue. The point is, we think financial accountability is not necessarily an issue of joint account.
Yeah.
It's about knowing exactly how much your spouse earns, how much you guys are putting aside for your future, for your immediate needs. And also, sometimes it's important to discuss extra expenditure.
Yeah.
Even though it's from our account. It's not an easy conversation we're having here, because if you're not used to this would be a lot of pain, because the money is in your account, you think you earned it, you think you own it, and yet you have to seek permission in spending aside the little that you probably have allocated to yourself. For every other money you spend, you probably have to talk to each other about it before you spend. And your ability to be able to do that would probably show your depth of accountability towards each other. Yeah. And so that's how we're handling it. So going forward, what do you think couple need to do? And here's the part that we probably may sound like we're giving you an advice, but we're just thinking. Should people do it like the way we do it, or it doesn't really matter? People should choose what works for them.
Yeah, I think that people should choose what works for them, because aside the fact that you're a couple, you need to share what your financial situations are, you should have some liberty to enjoy what you work for. So, I mean, that's why we don't believe in the joint accounts. We believe in transparency. I mean, I trust that he would say what's actually it's there and what it is, and give me the card to check it, and he has the same for mine too. So in that case, why then do we need a joint account? So for us, that doesn't matter, because anything that goes into it or anything that comes into it, we know it, and what we spend shouldn't be each other's problem. But I mean, aside our locations, we are free to do whatever. the fact that you're a couple doesn't mean that your freedom to your finances is over. No, we believe that we are two individuals when it comes to our earnings. We've worked for it. We should enjoy it when we have to enjoy it after we have done those allocations, because we are in it together. If something should happen to each of us, we should know where and how to go about it. And that's how we as a couple have managed our finances.
That would be so unconventional, but that's how that's how we do it
over
the period of our marriage. It's really worked,
and it's worked for us.
And to the guys out there, look, have this mindset: my money is our money, her money is her money. So,
that's not true. That's not
no,
true.
It's not true. But
my money is our money. His money is our money.
That's very true. In our case, that's it. But I think also, and maybe on a more serious note, I think guys should think like that, because I don't think that for us, if there's anything, I would come to you and say, this is what we're going to do. How much are you putting down? How much am I putting? We don't do that. I think I provide, and where there are shortfalls, without asking, she would willingly put it there. In fact, for most cases, I may have given you money for something, and you wouldn't even come back to tell me that it wasn't enough. And then you end up spending your own money on it. And there's nothing like, oh, the money wasn't enough, and so I added this, so now you owe me money.
No.
And I have to pay. We don't have that. So I think if you're a guy, your financial accountability to your wife sort of gives her the comfort. Okay, not all women. If you find a picky ladies, so make sure this advice only works when your wife is from picky.
Really? Where are my picky ladies? Please drop a comment.
If only your wife is from picky, that's when it works. But I think when you open up your finances to your wife, you earn her trust and maybe sympathy. And so where you don't sort of meet the need, she's happy to spend as much as she has without coming back to you. But one other thing, do we loan money to each other?
Yeah, sometimes we are banks. So sometimes we are banks, and then he loans me money, and then I pay back nicely. I loan him money, and then you are in trouble.
Okay.
Getting your loan from him. So, I canceled the bank. I'm no more a bank. I'm a charity organization. And then when it comes to, can I have this for this? Oh, it's charity. So I give it out. And then there's peace at home, right?
Okay, correction. So, yes. So I loan her money for her business. Correct? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the only time I take it back is for business. But personally, I don't.
Okay.
Anytime I go for money from her, it's for personal use. Why should I pay back? I'm her husband, for Christ's sake. I am her husband.
Then don't come saying you want a loan. You need funds, and you need support.
Guys, it's help. Easier to say I need a loan and to get your money than anyways. But I mean, on a more serious note, I think on personal levels, we really don't hold each other's throat to loans. That really hasn't been the case. And of course, why would you think that your wife owes you money?
Yeah. When she owes you, in fact.
Yeah.
And then I think one last.
Having said that, you owe me a lot of money. We'll talk. I'll get the money and post our comment here later.
Yeah, just drop the outline everything up here and let's see. Okay. Yeah. What was I coming to say?
I have no idea.
Okay. So basically, I think that's it. He made me swallow my words.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our financial discussion. Again, remember, this about us, what we do. Maybe there are people out there doing the same thing. If you share the same financial philosophy with us and how you manage your relationship in terms of finance, yeah, we'd like to know. If there's any
Yeah.
other way that you are doing it,
That
please share
works.
with us.
Yeah,
We
share
would
with
also
us.
like to learn from you. So far, this works for us, but who says we're not open for improvement?
Yeah.
And also, something that changed our life is the fact that we got serious in following people who give sound financial advice.
Yes.
And we encourage you to look for books or check on YouTube for anyone who is able to lead you in the right way for financial tips. So, hey, that's it from us today.
Yeah.
And we hope that this has been useful. If you like it, please share with someone and encourage your friends to subscribe to the Lee-Winans family channel.
Yeah.
She is Nana, and I'm who am I?
Chrissy.
I'm Nathan.
Nathan.
All
Oh,
right.
yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.